morning, everyone. This is Pastor Bonnie, and I have been in the process of working on a brand new book. So what I'm thinking I'd like to do is I'd like to record one chapter a day for you to listen to and enjoy. And I'd also like your feedback. The book is in the process of being published, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to self-publish it or whether I'm going to actually work with a publisher. I do have a literary agent who is interested in the book, but we'll see, and we'll pray over it and see how it goes. But I really would welcome the feedback, and I so appreciate each and every one of you. I don't get a chance to tell you that very often, but it really blesses me for all of the subscribers and the people who enjoy the painting classes and the different teachings that I like to do on here. So it's like God has given me my ministry, and it's all of you. And so I do always like to say, if you have any prayer requests, you can email me or put them in the description box, and you don't have to put particulars, but you can just say, I need prayer today, and I pray every single day. So I welcome you to go on this journey with me. And so I'm going to start today with the beginning. I'm actually going to read to you the beginning of the book, and then we will do chapter 1 together. And I so appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you can give me some feedback and tell me what you think. So the name of the book is called Kingdom Rising, A Tale of Angels, Demons, and the End of Days. And before I start reading it, I do want to tell you guys I have actually seen angels and demons. I've done thousands and thousands of hours worth of research. I was a registered nurse for 20 years, and I was also at the bedside of many people who died and passed on, and some of them came back and told me some of the beautiful things that they saw. So even though this book is a work of fiction, it does weave in true events. And so I'll just see, and to be honest, I haven't even finished the book. I think I'm on chapter 11. So the book is evolving, and if you enjoy listening to each chapter as I put them out, you're actually going to be on the journey of a brand new manuscript from the beginning. So now, without further ado, I'm going to start reading it, and it starts with a letter, so we will start. Dear friends, as you read the pages of this book, you will be transported from the depths of hell to the glories of heaven and back again. You will be shown the strategies of satanic forces that are orchestrated and planned from the government down to everyday people. You will gain understanding about the angels who have been assigned to you personally, and you will see for yourself how they are greatly at work in your life. Although this is a work of fiction, I have spent countless hours of research into eyewitness accounts from people who have died and come back to tell what they experienced, and those accounts have been artfully woven into the story for you to experience. In addition to the research, I was a registered nurse for nearly 20 years, and I was personally at the bedside of hundreds of people easing their transition from this life to the next. I know firsthand, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that both heaven and hell are real. I unapologetically take on the hot-button topics of our day, and if you are willing, come along with me, and I will take you on the ride of your life, from my heart to yours, Bonnie McPhail. Dedicated to my husband Jeff, best friend and the keeper of my heart and dreams, you are the biggest treasure of my heart and my biggest fan. Thank you for always taking care of me. Thank you for believing in my dream. I love you, and I love doing life with you. My cherished family, Dan, Jenna, Savannah, Caleb, Allison, Josh, Laura, Sarah, Jason, Richard, Abby, Becca, Joshua, and David. Life is so rich and full because of each of you. I love you more than I have words to say. My Lord Jesus, who gives me purpose and being, may all the glory go to you. Kingdom Rising, A Tale of Demons, Angels, and the End of Days by Bonnie McPhail. Prologue. Dazzling nebulas, rich and vibrant colors she had never seen on the earth, were whizzing by just out of her peripheral vision. Some of them they passed right through, and Evelyn was astounded at the exquisite beauty of God's creation. "This is nothing, woman of earth. You are getting ready to experience unimaginable wonders." Evelyn couldn't, in her wildest imaginations, even think of anything more beautiful than this. They flew past planets and galaxies unknown to man, and she was able to view the stars close up. Amaria was describing details along the way, and Evelyn's insatiable appetite for knowledge was relishing in every delectable detail. Just up ahead, a bright, gigantic planet was coming into view. It was larger than the sun and vastly more brilliant. Evelyn knew they were approaching heaven, and her anticipation was like it used to be on Christmas morning, awaiting her parents to wake so she could open her presents. Childlike wonder streamed through her being, along with gratitude and joy. This was real. This was good. So very good. Chapter 1. The east wind carries him away, and he is gone, for it whirls him away from his place. Job 27:21. Evelyn McNeil hurriedly got dressed and ran out the door. Glancing at herself in the bathroom mirror, her waist-length dark brown hair pulled up in a ponytail, and her favorite matching black slacks and jacket accentuated her tall 5'7" slender frame. Her large, expressive blue eyes, which thankfully were fringed with long, dark lashes, helped because today she didn't have time for her normal makeup routine. Of all days for the stupid alarm not to go off. On the way, her purse strap caught in the door and jerked her back. Annoyed, she pulled it out of the door, breaking the strap and nearly tripping forward with the force of it. Great way to start the day. Jumping into the car, she squealed out of the driveway. She had a full 30-minute drive to get to work on a good day, but now, because she woke up late, she was going to hit the rush hour traffic. Traffic was backed up for a half-mile onto the turn lane. Knowing she was going to be late for one of the most important meetings of her career, she picked up her cell phone while she fired off a text to her boss. "Hey, Jim, so sorry, but I'm stuck in traffic. I will get there as soon as I can." Just the day before, he had pulled her aside and made sure she knew in no uncertain terms that this meeting was either going to make or break her career. "All the top brass is going to be here for this meeting, Evelyn. This is going to make you rise like a rocket if you do it well. You do understand how important this is to both you and this company, right?" She knew all too well. She had been working toward this goal for the past 5 years, ever since she joined the advertising firm as a lowlife at the front desk. At 26 years of age, she was at the top of her game. It had taken months to even be noticed by anyone. She took the job to get her foot in the door, knowing she was overqualified with her master's degree in marketing and advertising. She took every mundane piece that none of the other employees wanted. The competition was fierce, and there was a great deal of maneuvering and backbiting along the way. She was a first-hand witness of the dog-eat-dog world, and as much as she despised it, she found herself entrenched in the very throes of it. She never dreamed she would ever do some of the underhanded things that she had done. She felt a twang of guilt as she recalled the most recent ousting of her best friend. The tears in Sarah's eyes and the stunned look on her face when she realized Evelyn had been the reason she was being let go and losing her job made Evelyn have a lump in her throat. She had learned to be a cast-iron, hard-nosed, cutthroat shrew. Never in her wildest imagines would she have ever thought she would become this person. Her days as a naive, talented teenager, the pastor's daughter of a small Midwestern family-style church, were far behind her now. "I am not going to think about it." She tried to cast aside the annoying thoughts. Still, there it was, that inner whisper that she recognized all too well was trying to get her attention. She knew the familiarity of it from the days when her sole purpose in life was to pray, help others, keep herself focused with a single-minded devotion to Jesus, and be a good little Christian girl. Those were the days when her best friend Sarah and the boy who loved her most, Peter, all planned together how the three of them would change the world for Christ. She had cast that simple life, filled with devotion, aside for the one she now fully and unashamedly embraced. She had watched her mother and father pour their lives into others at their own expense. They had worked day and night for a congregation that rarely appreciated all the sacrifices. Every dime had to be accounted for, and they wore cast-off hand-me-down clothes for fear of the judging that would come from the people who paid their meager salaries. Her parents were always at the beck and call of the sheep in their fold, as her father liked to refer them. They loved and gave relentlessly, no matter how badly they were treated in return, all for the sake of a few to make it into the kingdom. Finally, exhausted, stressed, overworked, and fighting weary depression from long, grueling hours, her beloved father had paid the ultimate price with a massive heart attack that took him early at the age of only 40 years of age. Instead of rallying around the shell-shocked family, which included her mother, herself as the oldest, and her little sister, Amy, the baby, the church members judged and said her father must have done something wrong to be taken so soon. He must have had an affair or stole money, and this was God's judgment. Her mother and sisters moved away to another town far from the gossip and profound loss, where they could lick their wounds and heal. They offered to share their tiny apartment with her, but instead she chose another path away from them and the only life she knew. That was when she turned her back on Peter, Sarah, and the Lord. She wanted nothing of what they offered, and she was not going to serve that kind of God ever again. She was accepted into a prestigious college and made top honors. She was never going back to that life she lived, not ever. She would become successful no matter what it took. She would show them all. She would show herself. Life was hers for the taking, and she planned on snatching it all. Every last pleasure-filled, enticing encounter was hers for the taking, and so she had, at the expense of anyone who got in her way. She lived for no one except herself. Money, power, and prestige were now her gods, and she relished in the power they gave her over others. Nothing mattered except clawing her way to the top. The cars were whizzing by, and she heard the impatient honk of a car in the left-hand lane. She had tried to move over, and the car was in her blind spot. Jerked back into reality, she focused on getting into the lane. It was a short, dangerous turnoff that she knew all too well. The on-ramp was not long enough, and if you slowed down at the yield sign, you would be rear-ended, as many had been already. She was just getting ready to run through the yield sign and force the other driver to move over and let her in, when for an instant she was distracted by the sound of the text message that alerted her Jim was answering her message. Suddenly, the horrendous sound of metal crashing on metal, screeching brakes, loud horns, and the smell of gasoline and smoke assaulted her senses. She found herself flipping end over end too many times to count, while everything was moving in slow motion. This was the last thing she remembered until she landed in a place that would rock her to the core, show her unimaginable horrors now and those yet to come, and set her feet on a new course that, if she would willing, would ultimately determine the fate of the entire world.